I think that the school's in good shape. I'm hoping that it's in good shape, but there is work that we need to do. So we're just going to make sure that everything is covered that needs to be covered.
Armani goes to the Luton school. She and her sister, Rakaya, are getting excited. Their new baby brother, or sister, is expected in a few days' time. While Salafi Muslims plan the best future for themselves and their children, they also prepare themselves for the end of the world. They believe that the Day of Judgment is close at hand. So what do the signs include?
Now, the signs are separated into two categories: the minor signs of the Day of Judgment and the major signs. As far as the Muslims are concerned, most of the minor signs, if not all, have already appeared. And not in any particular order. They indicate changes of practices in the whole world and the community. For example, the signs indicate that there will be an increase in fornication and adultery in the world before the Day of Judgment, and we see that now in the institution of marriage breaking down, not only in the West, but that's also spreading to traditionally conservative countries like the Arab countries and Asian countries. Also, there's a saying that of the Prophet's that the women will be dressed but naked, and this was a hard concept for the people at the time to understand. But if we look at the forms of dress that certain women do wear nowadays, mini skirts or other see-through tops, etc., this is another indication of one of the signs of the Day of Judgment.
But what are Muslim men supposed to do if they see an attractive woman in the street?
Well, the ideal for a Muslim man, and for any Muslim really, is when you walk, you should walk with your gaze down, and it's wrong. I won't say that nobody would ever look at the girl. They may even look at her, but you can look once, and that's a look. But then if you stare, then that's something else. Yeah? So as a Muslim man, if I'm walking down the street and that situation occurs, and I do see the girl, then the ideal for me is to look away, is to look down on the ground and just carry on walking. And there's some famous companions of the Prophet, peace be upon him, who this was their nature, this was their habit. When they used to walk the streets of Mecca, when they used to walk the streets of Medina, they would walk with their gaze down in front of them.
At Islamic schools, women normally teach the girls and men the boys. The female teachers only uncover when teaching an all-female class.
I had to learn to stop before the door, knock on the door, announce myself so that they were aware that a man was going to come into the room, to give them adequate time to cover themselves. There's probably teachers in the school who I don't know what they look like, and I don't have a problem with that as long as they do the job that they set out to do. So there's no problem. We don't judge them on how they dress. We don't judge them on how they look. We don't judge them on the latest fashion. They are judged basically on their teaching abilities and whether they're following what we've asked them, the curriculum that we've asked them to follow.
The future of Brixton School hangs in the balance. Earlier this year, in the course of a general review of its property, Lambeth Borough Council decided to sell the freehold. It's to be auctioned to the highest bidder.
The future of the school, we hope, is semi-secure. We've managed to secure a lease for the building, but now we're kind of in consultation. We're trying to get the council to bring the price of that lease down because it's quite a significant fee they're asking us to pay. We've managed to pay it, and we're managing to get the money together to pay it, but we're not sure we'll get the money in time for their deadline that they've set us, which is quite tight. We've given us a deadline of a week basically to get the money together.
In Saudi Arabia, they're also fundraising for Brixton School. Abdul Haq Baker was at the Brixton Mosque when the school opened. He's now concerned about the school's future.
It's very upsetting. I've been trying to contact colleagues that I know. We've had benefactors who've assisted us in the past that I'm contacting, and I'm trying to speak to some of the scholars over here and those beneficiaries who could help us. One problem we have though is that people are reluctant to transfer funds now in view of what's happened and the allegations of funding terrorism and things like that.
We're trying to push up the educational standards in the school, so it's, this was supposed to be a time for us to build and build on that foundation we set. Unfortunately, the whole situation of the buildings kind of thrown a lot of those things in the balance.
Funding is what is required, and understanding from the council.
We only found out about the auction kind of by accident, if anything. Myself and another colleague went to a council meeting, just were told to attend a council meeting, so we went and didn't announce our presence, and found out that this building was along a list of buildings that the council was planning to basically sell. And then what our sisters tell us is an asset stripping exercise.
With the baby due imminently, Yasmin packs her case for hospital, with Armani and Ruqayya helping.
Another issue is the increase in disobedience towards parents. This is another sign of the Day of Judgment. Another sign is that the adornment of mosques will become proliferant. Now, you'll find a lot of the Salaf mosques, they tend to have minimal adornment, but you'll find that other masjids, they have a huge amount of adornment. That's not a source of criticism necessarily, but it's a sign of the Day of Judgment. It doesn't mean that it's forbidden necessarily or that it's recommended, but it's a sign that this would happen as time comes towards the end.
As well as teaching the minor signs, Islamic lessons on Saturdays cover a wide